Our countdown of the top 12 villains in Atlanta sports history continues with the guy who solidified his place on this list the moment he dragged his foot through the Braves' A emblem, painted in the dirt behind home plate back in 2014 at Turner Field. He did so in all 3 plate appearances that night. Though he denied doing it on purpose, to this day, Braves fans boo this major leaguer like no other. This year's been all Braves, but the Phillies did beat the 101-win Braves last year in the NLDS, advancing to Philadelphia's first NLCS since 2010. This player always adds some intrigue to the division. Our number 11 villain in Atlanta sports history is Phillies right fielder Bryce Harper. I'm joined by our features writer Gabe Burns, but you used to cover the Braves. What epitomizes Bryce Harper as the perfect Atlanta sports villain?
Well, it really started with his attitude, right? He was a really cocky, when he first came up with the Nationals, and Braves fans hated that Nationals team. It was obviously a lot better than theirs. And as soon as he dragged the foot across the A, that kind of solidified him as really the face of a team that they really despised. And of course, he stayed in the NL East. He signed with the Phillies in 2019. They've had some battles since he's joined the Phillies, but last year, ending their hopes of repeating as World Series champions, that was really the latest thing that Harper pulled off, that he's just kind of their guy to hate. He's been booed at Turner Field and he's been booed at Truist Park, and it's pretty impressive how he's managed to keep this going.
Now, you were watching when he did the stepping on the A thing, and he said he didn't do it on purpose, but what were you thinking when he did that, and obviously what was Braves country thinking?
Well, I was a fan at that time, and I didn't like it. I didn't like him before that either. So it was, again, it just kind of fires up your emotions, right, to just see that guy doing that. And it's really almost something Atlanta takes pride in, because, again, this is not a market that boos a lot of people. So for him to just continuously be booed every time he steps to the plate, every time that he's announced when he's playing the Braves, is pretty impressive.
Now, we have to give credit where credit's due. Bryce Harper is an amazing player, and I think that's one of the reasons why Atlanta doesn't love him, right? Especially when they get in the Braves' way. What makes him special as a player, and why does that annoy Atlanta when he stumps us?
Well, he deserves a lot of credit, because some of these guys, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was 16. And it doesn't always play out this way. He's a multi-time MVP. We talk about LeBron being a guy like that. Right now, Victor Wembanyama in the NBA is being hyped like that. So you go through the history of sports, and it's pretty cool when you do get to see a guy fulfill his best potential. And that's what Harper's done. He's a tremendous hitter, and he's a great leader. And I know that he's matured a lot over the years. He's not quite the same, cocky kid that he was when he first came up. But for as much as people around here loathe him, he deserves a lot of credit for being the player he is.
And I think there's also a big rivalry aspect to this, because both teams, Phillies and Braves, both in the NL East. And honestly, this is going to be something we talk about for years to come, probably.
Yeah, when he comes up with the Nationals, now and up till another decade he's got here, right, that he's going to be in the NL East. And he was really good friends with Freddie Freeman. And when he was a free agent, there were Braves fans who were like, is there any way we could get involved here? So, they don't like him, but they were willing to see him play, with a tomahawk on his chest too. So, yeah, he's going to wind up playing, 20 plus years or whatever it's going to be, and it's all going to be in the NL East, and it's all going to be against the Braves. And I think that that's a big part of why he's, when we look back on really this era, he's going to be one of the guys that Braves fans remember as being one of their villains.
Does it all come back to that moment of stepping on the A, or is it how good he is? Is it just that rivalry element? What's the sticking point of why he's a villain?
I think it does go back to that moment, but there's so many different moments. There's just him, his aura, I think people don't like. So, but I do think that is really the one moment that
he almost
really
just
can't
come back from that.
Yeah, exactly. Once you do that,
we're not gonna forget that.
Yeah, and then of course, he homered against them in his first game with the Phillies, and then last year's playoff series. That was a huge deal. That Braves team was rolling. We thought they really might have a chance to repeat, and then it turned out that Harper's Phillies wound up winning the NL.
Gabe, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks to all of you for watching. Make sure you continue to follow along as we count down the AJC's top 12 villains in Atlanta sports history.